Okay, we have a new king of the open headphones market. These are the best ones I've used, and I have bought a lot of them over the years, and I've always self-funded. I've never been given or sent anything. And the Open Dots One, which will is a terrible name, similar to how Microsoft names products, the Open Dots One are the new kings of the open headphone market. I'll go into the details why, but if you're looking for open headphones, it is very, very hard to compete with these now. So yeah, we'll run through them. We'll take a look. We'll compare them to the Open Fits, which are another set of headphones, which I've been using for years now. I've also used Shokz, the classic bone conduction ones that wrap around your head. I also have both Samsung Galaxy Buds Pro 3s and Galaxy Bud 3s. Just a bunch of headphones. I'm always upgrading headphones. I'm always looking out for the next version because I wear headphones almost all day. So let's talk first about my use case. I wear headphones almost all day. I am one of those people that if I'm doing chores, not interacting with people, if I am running around town, if I am in my car, I'm wearing headphones. I'm usually listening to podcasts, audiobooks, and then probably about 20% of my listening is music these days. But that goes back and forth over time. Sometimes it'll be 50, sometimes it'll be close to zero. That all depends. But podcasts, audiobooks, music, kind of a variety of different things. So the Open Dots One is the new headphones from Shokz. I bought these at on the announcement day, the earliest you could pre-order them. So I have now had them for quite a bit of time. Few things about these headphones: they latch around the outside of your ears. So here's the speaker itself, and then this little guy tucks in behind your ear just like this, and your ear goes in between. I find them extremely comfortable. How would I compare them comfort-wise with the open fits, which are these ones which wrap around the top of your ear? I think they're similarly comfortable. They both can create pain points in my ears whenever I'm wearing them all day, but there's so many other advantages here that I think these are just a better headphone. One thing about the open fits that's a disadvantage is you can't wear them with glasses, which is a challenge. Or you can. I wear them with glasses because I wear glasses. But there's always that potential that they end up underneath your glasses and then they're kind of bumping up one of the legs of your glasses. They can just interfere, whereas these do not because they hang in a completely different way on your ear, the way they wrap around. So they're completely out of the way, but they're still open headphones. What's the advantage of open headphones? Open headphones means you can still hear everything going on around you, similar to the classic bone conduction headphones. And then here I do have a set of Oladance. It's a different brand, but I have one of their open ear headphones, and I've owned multiple of their types, similar to these ones and this set. These open ear headphones are really, really handy because they allow you to participate in daily life without having any sound blocked. One thing I've realized over the years using open headphones is that I still carry a set of headphones that do block out sound, such as the Buds Pro 3. And the reason I do that is because sometimes you actually do want some ambient noise block. Like if I'm listening to a podcast and I'm in a department store or I'm at a mall or something else and I'm just walking around, by having a headphone that closes off some of the outside sound, I can listen to the podcast or the audiobook at a lower volume. But the open headphones have a serious advantage in that in most use cases, and especially while exercising or while interacting with others, you're never missing out on that environment. But I still find that if I just have these alone, sometimes I find them lacking, just like on a plane. You'll want to go to something that can actually block out sound. So let's hit on these headphones a little bit. We'll compare and contrast the different variants. I was talking about fit a little bit ago. I find that these are very comfortable. There's a very cool feature about these in that left and right are 100% interchangeable. So whenever I put them in the case, left and right, now I can just flop them back and forth. Now that one's right and this one's left. And you can just flip them back and forth without any concern for which is left and which is right. This is another real advantage for someone like me who will wear one headphone most of the day. I wear two sometimes, but I wear one headphone most of the day because I'm listening to podcasts or audiobooks or YouTube videos. And so this design is neat in that if I have this on one of my ears and it gets uncomfortable for some reason, like say I'm wearing a hat and it's kind of like interfering or something, I can without having to go to the case and pull out the other one, I can just move this to my other ear, which rocks. It is pretty awesome. So I could just move it between ears and it works fabulously. I never expected that to be a benefit that I would like, but it's great. It's a great feature. So that's one of the features here, is that these are kind of ambidextrous headphones. They can be moved back and forth between your ears without a problem, and left and right just becomes kind of meaningless. The case holds on to them pretty well. I can say that the headphones, regardless of their waterproof ratings, I can tell you that the headphone case and the headphones, whether or not they have a waterproof rating, are pretty dang waterproof. How do I know this? This case and one of these headphones went through the washing machine at my house. Full load, full cycle. I did not have a USB-C port protector on there at the time or cover. And they went through, brought them out. You could see that water was leaking from around the edges here. And I kept slamming the headphone case and I was able to get more and more water out. So I was a little skeptical. So I didn't charge them for like 12 or 15 hours. I waited. I tried to give it plenty of time to dry out. I tried to get out as much water as I could. Water seemed to keep appearing from these ports too. So I was very, very worried. But whenever you close the case, the light still lit up. It looked like it was charging. So I didn't charge it. 24 hours later, I plugged it in. I actually didn't plug it in. I did wireless charging. I set it on a Qi wireless charging bank, and it started charging. And they have been working fine ever since. The headphone, whenever I pulled it out of the wash, I put it on my ear, and it was a little muffled at first, so I just wiped the speaker grill off with a cloth, and sure enough, just like at the gym, they are working great. Another thing about of how I can testify to the waterproofness of these, I wear my open headphones to the gym. I'm a four plus times a week I go to the gym. On average, it's 4. That's my target. And when I go to the gym, I wear these headphones, and then often I'm sweaty enough afterwards that I've got to rinse them off. And so I just do a quick rinse, just run them right under the tap and then dry them off real quick, and they work great. I've never had a problem. I didn't have a problem with open fits. I haven't had a problem with any of these open ear headphones just doing that to try to keep them clean. So really great. That brings me to a second thing about these headphones that's awesome. Shokz, thank you for finally adding Qi wireless charging. Thank you. I can take this, I can set it on a Qi wireless charger, and it charges. It wasn't even in the advertising that I saw whenever I first got it, but I tested it because I test every set of headphones to see, because the Galaxy headphones have had it for years now. And so I set it down on a charger and the light lit up. And I was skeptical enough for like 24 hours. I didn't trust myself. So I waited until the next day and I tried again and I'm like, it's charging. And sure enough, Qi wireless charging is in this thing. So great. Shokz, thank you. I hate having to plug in my headphones all the time, which is what I've had to do all the way up through these. So that's another great thing about it. The Pure case here, it's the same basic case design you've seen on a bunch of other headphones. There's so many headphones that have kind of similar designs. Nothing plus or minus about these. They don't seem to be getting scraped up. I carry them in my pocket. Sometimes they're in my coin pocket. I do try not to put them in a wallet or in a pocket with hard metal things like keys and stuff. So I haven't been abusive to them. But I've stored them in pockets with other stuff, and they seem to be holding up okay. However long we're in, a month or two in now. Other than that, the fit's great. The wireless charging. There is no noise canceling. People ask this question to me pretty often is there any noise canceling? No, there's no noise canceling. There's no noise isolation. There's no anything. They're an open headphone. They're intended to be open. They're intended to have, let the sound through. And so, no, they don't do anything like that. I even know people who wear kind of classic Shokz bone conduction headphones on planes and then put in earplugs. That's not going to work here. You've got to have your ear canals in order for these types of headphones to work. So, that's just part of this. This is part of the purpose of these headphones is to leave them open. I will say the audio quality is continuing to improve. These headphones have the best audio quality of any open ear headphones I've ever tried. Great audio quality. Better than my open fits, better than some of my Oladance headphones, just better than any others I've tried. Maybe there's some other random ones out there that I haven't tried that are even better, but these are just great. And it's an improvement even over the open fits. So that's great. Good bass response. The treble response is good. All that good stuff. We'll talk about the app here in a couple minutes. These do block out slightly more sound than a set of open headphones like these or like these. And I'm guessing it has to do with where the speaker is placed relative to your ear canal. So you can hear a very slight amount of muffling as you put on the headphones, but it's not enough to be irritating or block sound in a meaningful way. It's just a slight amount of reduction in the outside noise, which I actually appreciate. It doesn't bug me at all. So there is a normal pairing button here. They can be paired with normal Bluetooth devices. This does support, critical feature for me, multi-point pairing. I carry both an iPhone, which I'm filming this with right now, and an Android phone. And you can do true multi-point pairing where it's paired to both devices at the same time. They are both connected, and whichever one starts playing audio first is the one that's playing. This has been a feature of Shokz for a while now. Love this feature because it means that if I happen to pick up my iPhone and I start a YouTube video playing, it'll play in the headphone I have in my ear. If I pick up my Android phone and I start a video playing or an audio playing, it starts playing. There's no problem at all. Really, really great. So multi-point pairing is there. It's seamless. Shokz's implementation is probably the best I've seen because it's so seamless. I can stop audio on an iPhone and start it on my Android phone 1 second later and it's perfect. Oh, and if a call comes in on one of the two devices, it stops and it starts ringing the call in the headphones. Amazing. Great. Seamless. Really like it. Cars need this feature. So next, battery life. Battery life is comparable to most of the modern headphones I've tested. They're not, for me, being an all-day user, they will not last all the way until I go to bed, but with my usage patterns, they will last the majority of the day. sometime around 7 or 8 or 9 p.m., one of them will go ding, 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 ding. It'll make the sound that tells me that it's at 10% battery life. That's another thing I'll talk about in here in a second. And then a little bit later, it'll ding again. And then I just swap it out and I move to the other headphone, or I put them in the case for a few minutes and recharge. That's rarely what happens. I grab out the other one, I stick it on, and I keep trucking. So one improvement these have over prior Shokz headphones is that prior Shokz headphones, whenever they gave you that low battery beep, that often wasn't a low battery beep. That's a I will be dead in 30 seconds beep. You had like almost zero time before the headphones would turn off. Not in this case. This case, you have a long time. I think it's actually 10% is where it gives you the first beep, which means you still got an hour. You still got a lot of time. You got plenty of time to swap a headphone, anything else. So that one kind of like complaint point I had about Shokz's low battery warning in the past, which was kind of a joke. It was really a your headphone's about to get turned off warning. That's been fixed here. I've already talked about fit. Like both of these are very, very comfortable headphones. Just like these are comfortable headphones. All of these different open ear headphones, they're all pretty dang comfortable. But if you wear them with the number of hours I do, you will end up developing pressure points over time. Even with the old Shokz bone conduction headphones that touch the side of your head, I eventually under those pads, I would end up with areas where my skin would get irritated. Okay, so we've talked about all this stuff so far. Audio quality. We've talked about the fit. We've talked about them having wireless charging, USB-C charging. Multi-point pairing is there. Everything's spot on with these. They're really, really good headphones. I have not had them fall out unexpectedly. I can do vigorous exercise and they stay on my ears, which is great. These and this type both stay on my ears really well. Sometimes what I find with headphones that go behind my head is that depending on the headphone, like these ones, if I'm exercising really hard, they'll creep a little bit. And the headphone, the speaker will end up drifting off my ear and it'll degrade the audio quality slightly, so I have to move it back. So I guess that does bring up one point here, is that these headphones are impacted by how they're tilted on your ear. And so sometimes they can get kind of adjusted in a way where the volume is slightly lower or the quality isn't quite as good. So sometimes you have to readjust them, but it's not bad. So in that case, I would give this design, the around the top of the ear design, a slight leg up, because I find that I have to adjust these more than I have to adjust these. But neither one is bad enough that it interrupts my exercise or creates any problems while I'm running or anything else. So let's talk about the app for a minute. That app is the regular everyday Shokz app you know and love if you have used Shokz headphones. There's nothing special about it. There's nothing amazing about it. It is what it is. So here, let me get them connected. So here you go. So here the headphones are in the app, and yeah, they're the exact same as all the others. You have let me see if I can keep them connected while I do this. So you have standard, vocal mode, bass mode, private mode, and then multi-point pairing is down here turned on. You can customize your touch controls. I'm never impressed with Shokz touch controls. I actually prefer the Buds 3 where I can change volumes easily and everything, but that's a minor problem for me. Find My Earbuds works very, very well. So if you do a Find My Earbuds on this, the audio it plays is so loud, you will find that headphone if it's in earshot. That's great. So that's a really wonderful thing whenever you lose a headphone. I often fall asleep with one headphone in. And so it's nice being able to find the headphone if it somehow gets off my ear and gets lost in the bed. Smart wear detection, it detects, like a lot of headphones these days, it detects whenever it's on your ear, and then if it comes off your ear, it automatically stops playing. I have found that I've had to disable this once while I was wearing a helmet that kept moving the headphone down and it was losing connection. So I ended up having to disable it, but the vast majority of the time it's not a problem at all. So you have standard EQ mode. I have Dolby Audio. I play with all these settings whenever I first get them. So yeah, here are the major settings. You can play and pause. You can change different settings, answer and end calls. Like, you have your long press for your volume down and volume up. I like the touch controls other than play and pause on Shokz headphones. I just don't use because the battery, it's just the controls are not differentiated enough to really make it really fabulous. So that's it for the app. It's the Shokz app. It does exactly what you expect from the Shokz app. It's a good, solid app. It has Find My Earbuds. It has some basic EQ controls, all that good stuff. So that's great. Works on iPhone, works on Android just fine. I love that. I love that I can use the headphones and have all the controls on both systems. So yeah, that's what I'll say about the app. So let's see if I have any closing thoughts on these. These are the new King of the Hill. They are the best open ear headphones I've ever had. I love them. There's just so many little things. The wireless charging, the ability to flip between ears, the sound quality, the way they rest on your ears, the compatibility with glasses and hats, which is higher than the other headphones similar due to the way they hang on your ears. There's just so many different things about these that make it so that it feels like Shokz is really competing against, Samsung Buds and some of the other headphones that have had some of these more advanced features for a long time and have had great audio quality and all that stuff. Shokz is no longer competing on the you're going to beat the crap out of your headphones while exercising. That's why you need these headphones. And by the way, they're open. That's not how they're actually competing now. And I would recommend these even to people who were not exercising all the time, just because they're comfortable, they're open ear, everything else. Of course, just like all open headphones, if you're going to be in loud environments where there's a lot of background noise and you still want to be able to hear, you need yourself a set of closed headphones too, so that you can block out some of that sound, because these are not blocking out that sound. Volume levels are great. It gets quiet enough. It gets loud enough. I found in the past that with some headphones, even on the lowest volume on some phones, you could never get them low enough to actually be comfortable for like really quiet environment use over extended periods. But these ones get quiet enough. They get loud enough. It works great. I've never had a problem with that. So there it is. That's my review of the Shokz Opendots terrible naming headphones. Fabulous, fabulous headphones. Not like terrible name, but the name does not override how amazing these headphones are, and I look forward to using these in the future, and they'll probably be my most used headphones all the way up until the point that I find yet another model to replace them with. Yeah, leave a comment if you have any questions. Thanks.